Welcome to Story Ideas on the Fly, where we take an idea out the hat and see where it takes us. What do you have for the day?
What do you have for the day? I'm already laughing.
Oh.
It says goblins.
No. You read it wrong. It clearly says Goblins.
All right.
All right.
So goblins.
So, how do we distinguish this from the 500 other goblin stories out there?
Well, I guess
I
first
think-
question is, are we fighting goblins, working with goblins, or are we goblins?
Or all of the above.
Here's another
Are we
question.
goblins fighting
goblins with
goblins with
goblins?
goblins?
The other
Since you owe
question.
me a soda.
The other
Okay.
question in this is,
Here's your soda.
hey guys. The other question.
Pay attention, we're doing a video.
What is a goblin? Let's first figure that out. How are we going to define a goblin? Because goblins
goblins are
can be
usually
either little,
short.
gremlin type people, or they can be,
think
big
they're
ambitious.
I
Short,
think they're
usually
short,
2 to
but
4 feet
not-
tallish. 2 or 3 is a
I like
average.
4 feet for this one.
Usually very humanoid.
Yeah,
Like a
humanoid,
creature I would
green,
design.
pointy ears.
Usually.
There are
We
various
don't have
Mischief
to go that
makers.
direction, but we could.
And you can make your goblin however you want. It's your race. So,
Yep.
we've
Hey,
got
can I give it
goblins.
6 eyes?
If you
I
like.
wouldn't recommend that.
I wouldn't
Uh,
recommend it, but if you really want.
They live underground usually,
Okay, so
but
They
don't
usually
have
live in the
to.
woodworks, I've noticed in a lot of
Hey,
stories.
hey.
Okay. So how do we do goblins?
I don't know. I need your idea, especially if it's not goblins. It's goblin. I
No.
can't even do the voice.
Goblins.
Yeah, I can't do that
Okay,
voice.
so
Okay,
how do we do these as goblins?
saying it like that, they sound evil.
Yeah, this sounds like an evil... But we don't want to just
Evil
make Goblin
goblin.
Slayer.
Obviously.
I think we make it more complicated and nuanced. We make maybe the majority of goblins are evil, but we have to have maybe we set up a complex goblin society where there are several factions that are decent or neutral, but we also have several evil factions fighting for power and dominance, and their interactions with humanity are causing a lot of confusion because one goblin tribe raids a village and leaves no survivors, and then they go for the next goblin tribe, but it's a completely different tribe with different different mores, and they're going, what, we wouldn't do that.
Go ahead.
Would it help to separate from Goblin Slayer if we just said, this is a sci-fi?
Ooh, goblins
Because
in
then
the
we can have it so
sci-fi.
that these goblins are actually an alien race. That's primary differences between them and normal humans is goblins are naturally a little more instinctual and are
And
much
ADHD.
smaller. Yeah, and ADHD. And they completely depend on technology for all forms of combat because if a human and a goblin got into a wrestling match, it's like
human wins
Dad
every time.
getting into a competition with Megan.
So,
You can also
there
make
you
them
go.
bioweapons.
hey,
That is another possibility, but if you're making them
I like
bioweapons,
them
then-
being an alien race.
so Ash, do goblins taste good? No, they don't. Okay, that was an important answer to get.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
actually,
So then,
we
if it goes on like
could.
that would mean that humans could easily see goblins as these vile, disgusting creatures because we could end up saying goblins replicate like rats, and so if a goblin manages to get onto your ship, they end up crawling through the woodworks and end up being
And
these
so
vile,
this,
disgusting
the
creatures. in their
goblins,
eyes.
I think we could make this kind of a story of, goblin exploitation.
Mm-hmm.
And say, okay, people see the goblins as animals more than they do actual,
Yeah.
intelligent
Well, and
people,
some of
even
them
though
may
they
have
are
earned
intelligent.
that
Yeah.
belief, because I think a lot of the goblins are barbaric or are doing things that they shouldn't. But then there are other goblins who would like to live in
Yeah.
peace with humans if
Now,
would
one
let
simple
them.
way, if you want to make people easily say, we don't look at these people as human, and just give them a different language.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
if goblins, I mean, maybe if we could speak cat, that would, Ash would be smarter than we think he is. I mean, come on, we do clean up after him, feed him, take care of him. I mean, maybe he's a
Pretty
lot
good deal.
smarter and just has us trained.
Fair enough.
So,
Okay, so maybe your main hero in this is a human who gets captured by a goblin clan or a goblin village or a goblin ship, and he expects that he's going to be, I don't know, eaten, or whatever awful thing's going to happen to him, and then
the
he's
goblins end up just going,
taking care of him
okay,
and
what should we
keeping
do
him
with
as
him
kind
now?
of a pet.
Oh, what do humans eat? Do humans eat? Hey, human, what do you eat? Why isn't he speaking back? Human, what do you eat? Eat! Here, have a rat. Eat it!
Well, and then he
Do
eventually,
you want me to kill it first?
but then he can learn their language and their customs and their culture, and start to realize, hey, wait, there's more to these goblins than just being dangerous. And so now he has to,
Create peace.
create peace between the goblins and the humans.
Yeah.
With this interesting,
I'm just thinking, man, you can definitely make a linguist, who would learn his language easily. A linguist in a sci-fi, a very powerful character. Yeah, I think I've done that one before. His name was Samuel. But anyway, if you've made him someone who, kind of specializes in language, culture, things like this, then they could capture him, and they're capturing him because they think, hey, this guy
might be able to
might
help
be our
us.
link, right? And
Mhm.
to them, they're not going, we're capturing at you as an act of aggression. To them, this is like, hey, we're getting a meeting together.
Yeah.
And
Well, in
this
Goblin
could be
Society,
interesting.
if you want to talk to someone, you kidnap them.
You grab them and you go.
You grab them and you talk. So
Totally normal.
Here's my version of an alien goblin.
Manners.
you gotta hold it that way. Okay.
Hold on. There we go.
Okay.
"Oh."
So what we're going to do is, how then we need a big bad villain though, because the goblins aren't the villains. The goblins
Should we
are,
make
you've
the
got good and
should we
bad.
make the villain a goblin or a human?
Either way, you could have both, but
Good
then
point.
one of them's got to be your bigger bad than the other. So you know which one to kill off first.
Yeah, which one do we want for the big giant
Right.
climax of the show?
You could have a very evil goblin who's giving everyone a bad name. The goblin's a bad name.
Or who's
but
The one
encouraging
who
the
is going,
goblins
hey,
to destroy.
this other race is more powerful than us. If we want to survive, we should eliminate this race that is superior to us in every physical manner.
Yes, that
Well,
would be good.
what you could do is you could have it where both sides are preparing to basically genocide the other race because of the existential threat to their own race the other one poses, and they have to create peace between the two races. The main character and his group of heroes with him type thing. But you have one side that eventually is willing to listen and go, okay, we'll not destroy him, and the other side, let's see. Given what we know about humans and what we've defined goblins as, which one is more likely to listen to reason, and which one is more? Goblins are more likely to have already shot. Is the thing, is how I imagine it. No, here's what you could do though. If you want an epic climax without so much a big bad, but more of a situation, you have like a super weapon like a light speed missile, and the goblins already shot it.
Oh,
Because if you make goblins are often impulsive in most kinds, trickstery, impulsive, and things like that. So you make them impulsive. It's just like, yeah, humans are a big threat to us. We're going to die if they right.
No.
It's like, and so they actually have to stop it in flight.
Now, another thing though, I would like to see a big bad, and I think
Yeah.
you've got
Mhm.
your two sides, your big bad goblin and your big bad human or whatever race you're doing there. If it's him, it's
Human.
probably got 4
Human.
arms. Okay.
We'll stick with you.
Not
No,
a human
this
with
is
4
goblin.
arms.
And
Okay.
this is
So
goblins
the
v
goblin and
humans.
so I still would like to see a big bad. Even you can still shoot off the weapon.
Yeah.
But still, this big bad is going to be going, no,
I
we
think
should
the
rule.
human might be more imposing than a
Right.
a big bad goblin. Have it be a big bad human, because they're more imposing, and they're more. I won't say goblins aren't cunning, but he's more likely to
Hobgoblin.
have thought it through.
And
You
particularly,
could do a hobgoblin.
and
That is true too.
particularly if you've got shorter goblins, if they're 4 feet tall, I'm sorry, they're just not as intimidating. If you're thinking making the movie, I can, I'm 5 feet tall. I can stand up there and, fuss at you all day long and you'll probably laugh. Okay, my kids might say
You
otherwise.
could make an intimidating short person.
Well, you
Yes.
can,
But
yes.
Or you can
a
do
lot
a
of it-
hobgoblin where the king is
No,
bigger
here's
and
actually
badder
it's
than all
very
the others.
simple. What you need to do is you need to pull a reverse Napoleon.
Which is, okay, what do you mean?
Well, Napoleon Bonaparte, people often think of him as being short. He was actually completely average. The thing is, he would surround himself with really tall people. And and because of that, he was comparatively shorter than them.
Right.
So what you need to do is you need to make and it made Napoleon feel short. If you did the opposite though, if you could have someone who's 3 feet tall and make them feel giant. Step one, put them on a platform above everyone else.
Uh-huh.
So 6 feet in the air. Step two, make sure that all the people directly around them are shorter than them.
Yeah.
Just make them bigger than a normal
Right.
goblin. And then just don't ever put them right up next to a human.
And then when they're actually fighting the human, have them fight with like a mech or something.
I
Yeah.
still
There you
think
go.
the humans would be
Would
the
make for
better
a really
aggressor
good
because
Big bad guy at the very
yeah,
end.
because I think you're more likely, unless these goblins are so much more high tech or so much more of a threat, I think the humans are more of a threat to the goblins than the goblins would be to the humans. And
Honestly,
so I
once
think
you
they
get
would
high
be-
can
enough
take it
tech,
either direction, but
I think both are an equal threat to each other.
Okay.
That's how
can
space
take
wars
either
work. There's
direction.
only aggression. There's no defense.
I would probably
Yeah,
have the
pretty
big
much.
bad guy be a human, but
Well,
but we can
think
all
it
ride
work
it different
either way.
ways.
It could work either way. Whatever you want. Have fun.
right. So everyone can ride it. They can ride it the way they want. We didn't throw a love interest in here yet.
He marries a goblin.
Yeah, that was going to be the problem. Is if you have them on the goblin ship working with the goblins, they could also,
Well, you could have
get more
a
than one
team,
person.
an elite team go in to rescue him, and then have him go, actually, I don't need rescue. I need help.
Yeah. Oh, that
I
would
need
be
help
good.
with
Very
communication.
interesting.
I figured out the goblin's written language, but except for this one symbol, and they can't seem to explain it to me. Every time I ask them what this symbol is, here, watch. What does this symbol mean? Shama Ekorama.
I was just going to have them, hand them a squirrel or something. Right. So, you can go with this idea. We
That is
throw
very
some
true.
out, and you can take it. Give us more ideas, and
No,
put
what
them-
direction would you take it in?
yeah, put your ideas in the comments, and don't forget to give us ideas for the hat. We will see you next time.